So Rena, the really the models.
Yeah.
So Kikeniko Burger Rights, primary school.
Okay.
Funny story. I went to school in Maporisa, DJ Maporisa.
Oh, wow.
I try to be the best mom I can be.
Yeah.
I do struggle with mom guilt. My fondest memories were the days of go packing, Gadi
Yeah.
36 and titties, and we would walk Gadi Kula Bay.
Oh, you're on that it is.
Yes.
Straight out of Pheli,
Dumelang and welcome to another exciting episode here, Pheli Ville podcast with your host Brian Mshengwa Sepitori Shabalala. And today we've got a very exciting guest, as we always bring all the special people. I just want to go through profile here. Hi, Pheli. Entrepreneur, speaker, African communications expert, a seasoned strategic communications expert with over 13 years of combined communications and marketing experience. She's an avid negotiator, a business strategist, a creative and professional executive. She has her career has spanned across Africa, gaining in-country communications and marketing insights, as well as building and collaborating with teams in other African countries. She has partners in key markets in Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. Her career highlights include leading PR for brand campaigns such as Standard Bank. She was also part of What's Your Next brand campaign between 2017 to 2019. She has also led PR teams across Africa on a Pan-African campaign called All Mutual Amazing Voices between 2019 and 2020, winning the Kellogg's SA Corporate PR account, as well as ABSA Consumer PR account for retail banking during the SA COVID lockdown. She has since built her agency with retail, consumer, and corporate clients in South Africa, rest of Africa, and the UK. In 2021, she was recognized as a Standard Bank top women finalist in the top entrepreneur category. She also founded her company Alpha Destiny Communications, building it into a Pan-African integrated marketing and communication agency with presence in 5 countries in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's please welcome Miss Kekana.
Yo, Dumelang. I always get surprised by my profile.
Yeah, your profile
It's a lot.
is beautiful.
Hi.
You've done amazing things.
Thank
How are you doing though?
I'm good.
It's good to
I'm
see
good.
you. Yeah,
I'm good.
yeah.
Galebo.
So, ar thome ka Tshego pele.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's ar thome ka Tshego. Tshego wa gola. Tshego go holetse kae? Hona mo Tshego. Just give us a background ya Tshego.
Yes. So, well, thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be at home.
Yeah.
And do this at home. Ke ngwana Tshego, born and bred. Both my parents are from Atteridgeville. So one ke ko Molope, ko Oudtshoorn, and then the other ke ko Sosville.
Yeah.
Ko Puringwane.
Yeah.
Sorry. So I grew up here in Atteridgeville. And then we moved to Pretoria West at some point, and then my parents then moved to Montana. But I started my business here in 2016 because I came back for about 3 years, 2017 to 2019, 2020. And I started Alpha Destiny. In fact, I didn't have a laptop at the time when I started, so nekeberekisa internet cafe yako Mhlanga.
Oh yeah,
Mhlanga Street.
Yeah.
That's where I started.
Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's where I started my business actually. And I think the owner at the time, Nangizi, because neke printa ko teng, neke I was using the internet up until late, so I'd be the last person to leave. And he would always wait for me and close the shop, Heketamaya. So that's really like me being born in Atteridgeville, but I think my business was also born here.
Yeah. But Tshego a lo monyane. Tshego high school.
Yeah.
Tshego tsene kae?
Okay, so Rena, the really models.
Yeah.
So Kikeniko Burger Rights, primary school. Funny story, I went to school in Maporisa, DJ Maporisa.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, nerenale desk ewa, shara desk ko Burger Rights. And we both started our careers together actually, at Kalawa. So I went to Burger Right Primary School and then Kakenako Hillview High School.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then at that time, did you always know what you wanted to do? Was it always PR and communications as such?
So I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur,
Okay.
when I was 15 years old.
Okay.
And then I was very passionate about organizing events. Ke loko sekolong. So Ko Hillview, our HOD at the time gave me an opportunity to organize the events at school.
Okay.
And my first event, I actually managed to, book Ntando at the time.
Nice. Yeah.
Ntando was still a backup singer for Brown Dash.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
He was a backup singer for Brown Dash, and I managed to book him for a Mother's Day event at school, which never saw the light of day because the ticket was 11 rand, and I didn't have any marketing experience. Of course, I'm 16, so we couldn't sell any tickets. We didn't market the event, so the event didn't happen. But it didn't stop that bug in me of organizing events. So I was recognized by two guys from TUT. Lele, Zbu passed on. And they recognized, people started talking about, the fact that I was able to book an artist at that age, and I had the ability to call a record company and book the artist to them. So,
It wasn't easy.
which was not
Especially
easy.
back in the day. I mean,
Yeah. So they saw me and they gave me an opportunity at that age, and I kind of started getting experience through them. They had a company called SLR Entertainment, so we worked together with the likes of Somebody and a couple of DJs. So that's where I would say my roots started. And my passion was within events, and my first business started in 2008, which was Alpha Destiny Event Management.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you come a long way. With
Yes.
Alpha Destiny.
I come a long way.
Kind of rebranded it.
Yes. Yeah.
That's nice. Yeah. And so now you go into varsity, as you said.
Yes.
What
Yes.
did you study? You're not TUT.
So I studied, no, I didn't go to TUT. I went to Varsity College. I studied diploma in public relations.
Okay.
The reason I did PR was because I started in events. So I wanted to get a course that has events within it. So I saw PR, and PR, it's also about your personality and working with people, which is what I've been always passionate about. So I studied PR, and then, post my diploma, I also went further to study marketing. And I took short courses within marketing so that I can have an understanding of both the PR world and the marketing world.
And then did you, like after varsity, did you go into the formal market or?
So so ke thomile bereka before I finished my diploma. Actually, I got the opportunity as I was doing my second year. That's where the DJ My Polisa story starts, because we started at the same time. He was nearly DJ Navy at the time. He was DJ Navy at the time. Yeah.
Navy like the color Navy.
I get his dark.
Yeah, because I wanted to say, I was almost thinking,
so when I was doing my second year, I got an opportunity to work for a company called P&M Productions. And P&M Productions is DJ Pepsi and Mahuta. So I got interviewed by a guy called Prince Costino, who's now running his business in Dubai. But I would say Prince opened that door
for me.
For you, yeah,
Because I was taking a chance. I was
Yeah.
still studying, so I
Yeah.
wasn't done, you know.
Yeah.
But I knew before you can graduate for your diploma, you need to fulfill 180 hours, working
Yeah.
hours,
Yeah.
you know. So I used that time.
Yeah.
Nagi bone hore, okay, maybe my hours are coming before
yeah.
my third year.
Yeah.
So I went to work. I took the opportunity, and the opportunity was in Joburg, of course. So I got a PR assistant role.
Okay.
I can
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not qualified in PR.
Yeah, in PR,
I'm very young.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I'm winging it, actually, you know.
yeah.
So I took up a role, and there was a journalist called Mandla. He passed on as well. Mandla is the one that taught me the difference between PR theory and actually doing the work, you know. So Mandla taught me how to write effective press releases that are suitable for media. He taught me how to manage media at events. And Buma Huta, they threw me under the bus. I won't lie. Like, Lena, if he will listen to this, he will
Yeah, he
know
will
what I'm
know.
talking about.
Yeah,
I got in, and my second year, second semester,
Yeah.
I was working.
Yeah.
So I went to Galo Bereka, and I did events for both Galao and P&M Productions, because
Oh,
they're
that's
sister
nice.
companies.
Wow.
Yeah. So they did, if you hopola, there was this event called Spring Music Explosion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hopola,
Mahuta.
yeah, Mahuta, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah. So no.
no, that was me.
No, that is nice.
I
So you
did the
push it.
PR. Yeah, yo, it was a
That was
lot.
an amazing event.
It was
No, no,
amazing.
no.
Yeah, so I was never home.
Bad, yeah.
I tried Hojola, but it was almost impossible.
You tried to?
Hojola. Hojola.
Like he caught me off guard. I'm like, I'm trying to. Okay.
I was in a relationship.
Oh, okay,
and
yeah,
then it didn't work out because every week I was not home.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
anyone who works with Puma Huta, Pepsi,
Yeah, you
Fitbook,
can imagine.
or
They
Skido,
always
you
do,
can
you know,
imagine.
yeah.
I was never home. Every weekend
yeah.
I was at an event.
Yeah.
I was working. I was hungry.
Yeah.
Hungry.
Yeah.
I shared a one-bedroom apartment with my cousin.
Okay.
Letty K, and I was sleeping on the couch, and I was okay because
Yeah,
I wanted to learn. I was so hungry to learn,
Yeah.
so I would sleep on the couch and, you know, just push work, and I was working throughout. You know, that's why relationships were not working.
We're not working,
for me,
yeah.
You
You
know,
enjoy at that time.
I'm in Joburg that time, you know. And that's how things started. Okay, fine. Taba ya bo Mahuta, it was a contract.
Yeah.
So when it ended, I went back to school to finish, yeah.
To finish, yeah. And then after that, did you go into
Corporate.
corporate?
Yes.
Any other job? Yeah.
Yes, so my first official corporate job
Yeah.
then was, after I was done with my diploma,
Yeah.
I then got into working for a global PR agency
Okay.
called Weber Shandwick in 2012.
Okay.
And that's really where I think my career
Yeah.
really started in 2012.
In 2012, yeah. And you honed your skills. How long were you with them?
Weber Shandwick, I was with them for about 3 years.
Okay.
And then I moved to work for Tebe Galafeng,
Oh, nice.
who was my mentor,
Oh, wow.
at the time. So Tebe mentored me and
That's a good
then
mentor
offered
to
me a
have,
job.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
That's a good mentor to have. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
when
taught
you
me
talk
so
Tebe,
much.
Galafeng, you talk to
Yeah,
me really.
I think my passion for Africa comes from working with Tebe.
Oh, okay.
He instilled that seed in me to look beyond the borders of South Africa, because there's so many opportunities outside of South Africa, and he encouraged me to do that. So I started becoming curious about the continent, and I love traveling. So I wanted to see hore ho etsahalang outside of this beautiful country of ours. I did agency hop. I did work for different companies. That is one, because I'm an entrepreneur. We can't really stay at one place for too long.
Of course, yeah.
And two, I get bored very quickly.
Okay.
So 3
What's your star sign?
years,
Just
Capricorn.
curious. Oh, okay.
So 3 years, 4 years.
Yeah.
Ke batla a change in
different,
direction, you know. I
a
need
new
something.
challenge.
I need something to challenge me, you know. So I worked for amazing agencies.
Yeah.
Before I could resign in 2020. But during the agency experience, so I worked in the space for 10 years. And the agency experience also gave me corporate experience, where I got to work and sit at banks like Standard Bank and work with their marketing team and get to understand how they do things, get to understand how do they market outside of the country also, and what's the language, you know. So my experience then is, and I know that I'm known as the PR girl, but I actually have a lot of experience in marketing as well. Because I studied marketing as well, but I also worked with marketers to understand the world of marketing. So I worked with Standard Bank for a long time, and I worked with Saso, and I was sitting with Sasol for quite some time, working on reputation management, until I then got the experience with Old Mutual to launch a campaign in 5 countries across the continent. And I was gone from home for about 3 months, literally country hopping. From it was 2 cities per country, launching a campaign called Amazing Voices. And then I resigned 2020 during COVID.
During COVID, yeah. I was about to ask for it. So you resigned during COVID, but was this just before or
COVID or in the middle of COVID?
middle.
even?
So I started Alpha Destiny.
Very brave.
Yo,
you leave security for the unknown COVID?
Brian. And I left very good security.
Yeah.
Very
good,
comfortable.
very comfortable, yeah.
Job
Yeah.
that had traveling benefits. I loved my job. It was one of those agencies that Kadi Fridays they will have like drinks Friday and you know, so it had nothing to do with me not liking my job. I absolutely gave 110% to my job. But I started Alpha Destiny Communications 2016.
Okay.
And then from 2016 to 2019, I was running it as a side hustle.
As a side hustle, I wanted to ask,
So I had built my brand, unknowing. I just built my brand, and people started seeing me as the PR girl, and people would come to me, Babatla advice or support in their businesses, particularly small businesses. So I became very passionate in helping small businesses build their brands through my PR skills. So the thinking of Alpha Destiny came from, okay, if I've done PR for a brand like Rolex and McDonald's, and I've done marketing for those brands, imagine what I could do for a small business. So I saw the gap in businesses, and whenever you'd hear entrepreneurs talk about their challenges, one of the challenges was access to market and marketing. You know, so I was like, okay, access to market, we work with corporates every day. Anyone that works in the agency space, we have access to corporates. Ne? They must not tell you that they don't. Because we have access to corporates, 1. 2, we are skilled in PR and marketing. We know the tools that a small business can utilize, you know. So I felt at the time, why can't I start a business that specifically supports entrepreneurs, small business entrepreneurs?
But when you're talking small business entrepreneurs, were you talking like really small, like?
At the time,
you worried maybe how do you make money out of them if you've left your job, which is more secure? Now you're running your own business.
So 2016 to 2019. It was just about having a side hustle. So I've always known I want to go solo, but I didn't have a set plan. I did not have a plan, I won't lie. I wanted to help people. And there's no money in helping people, by the way.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Already.
There's no money in helping people.
Yeah, there's no money in it.
But I wanted to help people, and I've always been passionate about helping small businesses because when I started, I didn't know how to ask for help. So I then figured out a lot of things on my own, and I didn't know if I'm doing it right or am I doing it wrong, you know. So I wanted to be the type of person that can offer help to entrepreneurs
Yeah.
according to the skills that I have.
Sort of bridge that gap, yeah.
To bridge that
how they
gap.
access that kind of help.
Yes,
Yeah.
you know, so for me at the time I took small business because I knew I remember the minimum fee was 3.5 a month.
Yeah.
But remember I had a salary.
Yeah.
So it wasn't about making money
Yeah.
at the time.
At the time when you were working. and
When
you
I
were
was
doing it as
starting
a side
A,
hustle, yeah.
it was about building my profile, my
Yeah.
business profile. Because in our world, for you to get a Coca-Cola, for argument's sake,
Yeah.
you need to have built something.
Yeah.
So for me, it was about building my profile. But then in 2019, I approached a big business. I approached Pusha M.
Okay.
And she said yes. And then that's when I was like, okay, fine. There's a potential then to also grow into big businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say that kind of maybe made your decision a bit easier, Nyana, because you had at least one
Yeah.
a big client?
So I'll be honest and say, by the time I resigned, I'll put it. I'll put it to you. My salary was my take home was 30K, right? That was my cushion.
Yeah.
By the time I resigned, Alpha Destiny was making 50K, 50,000 a month.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, you would say, but you have 50 plus 30. You know, why don't you just stay?
Yeah.
But my thinking was, if I could make 50,000 as a side hustle,
Side hustle, yeah.
imagine what I can make if
Yeah.
I'm fully invested in this
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
So that was my deciding factor.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense, yeah. And then you started Push Your Ham, got other clients. What happened from there?
Yes.
When you started after having started and left your job.
So I resigned in January 2020.
Yeah.
That was before lockdown.
Yeah.
Me also resigning it was more of a spiritual decision as well than it was physical. And then the time I resigned January 2020, my client asked me to stay a bit longer, just to finish the project. So I ended up finishing in April.
Yeah.
So April 2020, if I hopola.
Yeah.
Nearly lockdown.
Lockdown. It was bad.
It was very bad.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my last salary was April 2020.
Yeah.
And that time we are skin deep into lockdown level 5.
Yeah.
Like I said, niggas not plan at
Yeah.
all. I had no plan. I had literally trusted
Yeah.
God.
Trusted God, yeah.
I just trusted God, and I was like, I'll figure it out. But one thing I know is that I am good at what I do, and I do know how to bring in business.
Okay.
Hey, the rest re tla bona ko pele. Re tla bona ko pele. I got sponsored a laptop
Wow.
by my friend in Ghana.
Yeah.
Through conversations, I would say, yo, Ghana, I'm leaving Magna Carta, so the Magna Carta is to take their laptop, go to my fancy, you know, and he was like, no, it's fine, I'll sponsor you, you know, go get the laptop that you want. So my laptop also got sponsored, and then I just started at home. The blessing was that I didn't need an office. We couldn't have offices because of lockdown. So I was forced to just work from home, and built from there.
And this you still doing, staying with your cousin or? you
No.
moved
This
or-
is so staying with my cousin was na quite like sisi ke thoma
Thoma,
le-
yeah,
le
yeah.
bo mahuta, yeah. This was I was staying in Midrand kana go eo. I was staying alone
Alone, yeah.
in Midrand, and I tried the best I can to at least make enough to pay rent,
Pay rent, yeah.
and have food.
And have food, yeah.
You know, because I think my car was paid up by that time.
Oh, okay.
By the time that I was alone, so I stayed with my polo, and I lived in a cheaper place,
Yeah.
go Midrand. My spending was not excessive. You know,
Yeah.
my lifestyle was within Garing.
Yeah.
It was doable. So I didn't have debts actually, because while I was working, I had paid up most of my debts.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah, so when I went in solo, I was just so
Yeah,
and
yeah.
build. By God's grace, and because of the network that I've also built in my career, I was able to pitch to ABSA.
Okay.
At the time, ABSA, they were looking for small businesses. They wanted to give small businesses a chance, particularly small agencies that are particularly black-owned.
Yeah.
And we pitched and we won the consumer PR accounts. Because of COVID, most companies went the project-based contracts instead of giving people retainer contracts, which was fine because when you're a small business, you got a contract at ABSA. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm happy with it,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I remember they sent me a contract on Friday,
Yeah.
and they pushed me to sign
Yeah.
because on Monday we had to start working,
Yeah.
and I didn't have a team.
Yeah.
I didn't have a team.
Yeah, I wanted to ask that.
I was
Were you still
alone.
Solo, yeah.
I was solo. I was still building,
Yeah.
and the account needed 8 people.
Yo.
Yeah, 8 people.
Yeah.
So then that's the other thing, it's that we go and pitch for these things with the thinking,
Yeah.
and I will figure it out later.
Yeah.
Once I win, and you assume you'll be given the time to actually figure it out. I didn't have the time.
Yeah.
So what I did was I borrowed people.
Yeah.
Secret. I borrowed people.
Yeah.
And I
Like
signed.
people who are employed somewhere.
No, they were
or,
freelancers. They were freelancers, yeah. And remember, I haven't been paid by ABSA.
Yeah.
I just got a contract.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't have money
You don't
to
have
pay
money
people.
to pay people, yeah.
So I borrowed people, signing MOUs to say,
Oh, okay,
once we will do this work together, and then once we invoice, this is how much you'll get paid. And that's how my business started then evolving into having a proper team and offices and all of that.
No, yeah.
Yeah. And then in the same year, I think in the space of a month, then we won Kellogg's corporate PR account. I'm happy to say we still have both accounts till today.
We still have Absa and Kellogg's.
Yes.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome. No, it means you do a good job.
Yeah,
Companies
no, we
be that good.
push.
Yeah,
We
you
push.
that. Any challenges you've had? Would you say you've had a day when you felt like I can't do this anymore?
Yeah. Many times.
Yeah.
Many
yeah,
times.
Yeah. Want to share maybe one of those experiences when you felt like yeah, I'm a bit overwhelmed. I'm not really sure if I want to do this, or do I want to even go back and be formally employed, because it happens to a lot of entrepreneurs, Yeah.
It has happened many times, but I think the biggest one was last year. So 2022 was our best year
Yeah.
in business since I resigned. And then 2023 was the worst year.
Yeah.
And I think in business, that's how it fluctuates.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
2023, I lost clients. There was actually a week. In that week, I received 2 legal notices in that same week.
Yeah.
So one was from a client whom we had for only 3 months. And realistically, it does take 3 months to get to understand your brand. So if you bring in Alpha Destiny and you've got Chabalala foods, I don't know Chabalala foods. You know your business, but I don't know it. My team doesn't know it. So it's like a relationship. If we are going to go into a relationship, those 3 months, we are literally getting to know each other.
Yeah.
So it's the same in business. And there are other people that don't understand that 3 months process of understanding the brand, you understanding our way of work, understanding each other's systems, and putting proper ways of working systems in place. So at the time, this client decided that Rona Rashapo, we're not happy, which is okay. They sent us a termination contract, termination agreement. And then the same week, I couldn't pay because we had inconsistency with payments with clients, and we were struggling to pay the office.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian, and we had such a nice office.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, we
Well,
had beautiful offices
yeah.
in Rivonia.
Rivonia, okay.
And that week, I received a legal notice they were threatening me to pay an exorbitant amount within a space of 7 days, you know. Otherwise, there are legal implications and all of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Now, I'm not used to,
This is from the landlord's way.
yeah.
Okay.
It was from the landlords,
Yeah.
and then 2 days later, I got a client letter. So I'm getting a client that's
Yeah.
terminating a contract
Yeah.
that was good money, and then I'm
Yeah.
getting these guys who are threatening us, you know.
Yeah.
It was a
when
lot.
it's a pause kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah. When you just.
And I remember calling my lawyer and Kerio, I just received a second one.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, no, Shem, you are really going
You're
through
going
it this
through it,
week.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I called a friend of mine. I texted a friend of mine, Witness Mdaka, and sent him a message and said, I, Ntanga, ke sharp.
Yeah.
You know, I'm giving up. Like,
Yeah.
at that time when we received those 2 notices, we were already losing clients. For some weird reason, clients were not staying. You
Yeah.
know, we were not winning more business.
Yeah.
So I'm also having issues with my team.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to pay salaries of 8 people.
Yeah.
So it was just one challenge after another, after another. And I remember sending Witness Kere, I like a sharp. I
Sharp,
think
yeah.
I can't handle this
Yeah.
anymore. I'm a very strong person.
Yeah.
Emotionally, physically, I'm very strong. I can tolerate a lot.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot for me to break.
Yeah.
But at that point, I was like, okay, I just can't. I can't feed myself. I'm
Yeah.
struggling to feed myself. I'm struggling to pay my own rent. I'm in debt. I'm in debt with my child's school fees. So my personal life is affected.
Yeah.
Business, it's not doing well. So there was the time when I felt like, it's just a lot, you know. And when I texted Witness, he called and said, okay, because in my text I said, you know, I'm actually giving up.
Yeah.
And I said to him, at some point you just have to throw in the towel. And then he called, we are not giving up.
Yeah.
We'll have a plan in place, but giving
Yeah,
up is not,
it's not
you
an
know.
option,
And he gave me the comfort of Tshego, you're not the only one that goes through this.
Yeah.
We've been through it, Lerona. We've been in business longer than you.
Yeah.
You know, so we've received legal notices many
Yeah,
times.
yeah,
You know, so that's what makes you stronger in business. And I took his advice because I needed it at the time. And I kept pushing. But the other thing that you need to understand about business, that there are times where you have to let go.
Yeah.
There are times where you have to accept defeat,
Yeah.
accept failure, and literally re-strategize, you know. So there are times when you need to shed off a few things and then go back to the drawing board. I went through that last year,
Okay.
where I had to go back to the drawing board and see, okay, fine, how I've been doing business this year.
Yeah.
Not the past couple of years, Mara.
Yeah.
This year, Hona, there's certain things I didn't do right.
Yeah.
So I need to go back to the drawing board. And I did. Then I let go of my team. I let go of their office. I let go of everything. I was honest about my situation with my landlord, with the people that we owed. And I went to get a job.
Okay.
I went to get a job, and they gave me a 5 months contract, and I said, cool, I'm gonna service this client for 5 months, and at the same time, I'm gonna rebuild the
Yeah.
business.
The business. Yeah. So this is all last year, ne?
This is late last year.
Late last year. So the 5 months working, is it coming into this year or?
Yeah. I'm actually finishing now, Kami.
Coming?
End of May.
Oh, okay. And then I want to understand as well, and I wish Bakabona your T-shirt, ne? There's Alpha Destiny, And then there's the
The
lioness.
lioness.
Yeah. Tell us more about the lioness.
The Lioness is a women empowerment movement that I started in 2017.
Okay.
The point of starting the Lioness was personal.
Okay.
I think as women, when we go through so much, there is the strength that we have within us.
Yeah.
That once we unleash the strength, we can achieve so much more.
Yeah.
Especially when you've gone through adversity.
Yeah.
The minute you tap into this inner strength, you are able to move forward and achieve so much more. And I truly believe that women have it. I know men have it, but we're talking about women.
Yeah, that's right.
Women have it more than men because we give birth. The strength of giving birth is unmatched, right? So I wanted to give this inner strength I'm talking about, I wanted to give it a name.
Yeah.
And I gave it the Lioness.
Okay.
So the Lioness is like the inner strength within you, and that's why our t-shirt says unleashing the strength within you.
Yeah.
So the Lioness means the strength within you.
And what do you do within
the
lioness
movement?
itself?
So we have a movement. The movement has been existing since 2017. We have a WhatsApp group with close to 100 women in that WhatsApp group. We host online sessions. So the purpose of the Lioness is a support network of women.
Okay.
The whole purpose is for us to support one another in all aspects of our lives. So we want to build women to become better wives, build women to become better friends, better sisters, better businesswomen, better professionals, So we host different programs that help enhance the woman.
Yeah.
And build the woman.
Build all.
So we do it through events.
Okay.
We do a lot of events.
But how are you finding it? And I'll tell you, maybe I'll be a bit controversial in Yana. Now required to this thing out man. So, you find a lot of women saying, I prefer working for a male boss, for instance.
Yeah.
You find a lot of women saying, it's difficult when we try to work together. How have you find the challenges, or is this just a myth? How is it in your world?
No, it's very true. And that's what we're trying to demystify with the Lioness movement. We're trying to show as women we are really stronger together. And we need to build one another. We need to support one another. The thing is, Basadi man, women are strong.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever underestimate the strength of a woman. And you also see it in the men that we are with.
Yeah.
You see the strength of a woman through their husband, or their partner. Because how we influence you to be better, there's a strength that comes from that, And sometimes men become better men because they've had strong women.
They have in their life.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah.
So the other thing is, we wanted women to see themselves as strong people that have the ability and capability of building strong communities. We wanted women to move away from, for me to get that position, I need to sleep with someone. We wanted women to move away from, for me to be seen, I need to dress in a certain way. That you are powerful even without dressing in that way. And you are powerful even without sleeping with somebody. And you don't need to do those things in order for you to be seen and be seen for your worth. I want to stress that we are not a feminist movement.
I was about to ask that. I was about to ask that because I feel like, a lot of terms are thrown around easily. You're easily accused of being a feminist or a narcissist or what, and sometimes it's not necessarily true. And whether as your movement, whether you face such challenges where people are perhaps labeling you feminists, or you face such challenges.
So we've never been labeled as a feminist movement, but I know a lot of women empowerment movements are labeled as that. We are not, and how we prove it is that we believe in partnering with men.
Okay.
We need you guys.
Yeah.
We need men. We need our men in our lives. And as a result, we've never hosted a lioness movement without men. Men attend our events.
Yeah.
When we host our Lioness Corner, which is our online event, where we talk about deep things.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the sessions, we were talking about the toxicity of women in relationships. And we that session, it was a Zoom session.
Okay.
We gave it to men to speak.
Okay.
And us women, we listen. So yes, we're building women, but we are also indirectly building the home.
The home.
You know, where the man is.
Yeah.
And we invite men all the time.
Okay.
I always encourage, especially those who are married, to bring their husbands to our sessions. And they come and they participate also. So we've got husbands that have been supporting our movement since, you know.
Beautiful.
And if I was married, my husband would be
Yeah.
the lion
yeah.
within this
Yeah,
pride,
yeah.
you know. So it's we work lebana, and we always have. I always say that let's never have an event where we haven't invited one or two men, you know, to be part of us, because the whole point, it's pointless to build women without the men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. I like that. And I think now also.
Oh, sorry. Excuse before we
Yeah.
go. We have an event every year called Dinner with the Lions,
Okay.
where we have conversational dinner with men.
Yeah, I'd love to come.
It's in December.
I'd love to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's one event that I missed, but I'd love to come to this one.
Okay.
Yeah. No,
I'll invite-
that's obviously
I'll invite the Pheli community.
the community, please.
to
Yeah.
dinner with the
let's get
lions.
them, yeah, because we need to
Yeah.
reinforce that whole, you know, working together between
Absolutely.
the women and the men again. There's a lot
Absolutely.
of what's being dividing us, and we taking different voices, and yeah. So I actually love
true.
what you're doing. I want to go into. You said your daughter or something. So you're a mother.
I'm a mother.
Oh, nice.
I've got 2 children.
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah.
I have a 9-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and a 22 months old toddler.
Oh, wow. Happy Mother's Day, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah. And now tell me about the challenges of motherhood and business, because, you know, 9 to 5 is different, but a business is
Yeah.
almost like a full day, almost
Yo.
kind of thing. So how do you balance that? What, yeah.
No, there's no balance.
Yeah.
There's no play. There's no. So, okay. So I came to realize, Jorge, for me to make it work, and for me to be successful in it, just
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me to make it work. By God's grace, my parents are still alive. So
Okay.
when I need them, they do come through.
Okay.
But being the sort of independent woman I am, I had to build a system that helps. One of those things,
Yeah.
you are raised by a village.
Yeah.
It's really true.
Yeah, it is.
You know, so we live in 4 ways. My daughter, I have a full-time nanny
Yeah.
that lives with us. But by the time Kimuhira, I
Yeah.
had an honest conversation to her to say, you and I are running this household. We are raising these kids together.
Yeah.
But I may not be here all the time.
Yeah.
There's no man in this house. So now we have to figure it out really too.
Yeah.
You take care of the kids.
Yeah.
I will make sure that we are fed, we've got a roof over our heads and all of that, right? So we are in partnership.
Yeah.
As much as
Plus, you're a strong negotiator. So,
yes.
yeah. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure that, yeah.
You know, and my daughter has other women that, you know, are supporting me as well. So for example, the lady who's her transport driver,
Okay.
Hoya Skolong, she, whenever, because there are weekends where I work, right? And then my daughter has to go to whatever that she needs to do that weekend. If I'm unavailable, then the transport lady, you know, I can call her. So I've built like a system around me. My friends also are very helpful. But really, I try to be the best mom I can be.
Yeah.
I do struggle with mom guilt because sometimes, like my daughter's school, they had a Mother's Day thing, tea, whatever, in the morning, Friday,
and I'm working.
Yeah,
You know, I've
yeah.
I've got meetings, I've got that. So sometimes you're like, "Ish,
Sometimes,
I
yeah,
can't
can't
attend
be
some of
easy,
these
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So I do struggle with mom guilt a lot, a
Yeah.
lot. And I think
I'm
being
sure a lot of people, yeah,
yeah, you know,
mother guilt, yeah.
we try. Being an entrepreneur means I don't have the privilege or the time maybe
The time, yeah,
to cook every day,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, for the household because especially during the week. So during the week, either I work until late,
Yeah,
or because I've got deadlines to meet, or I've got meetings until late, you know. So in times like this, you can't. It's difficult to be the normal woman
yeah, yeah.
that goes home every day ka 5 and cooks for the family, you know. So
When you look at the two between you doing or running your own business and working, what takes a lot in terms of hours and
you're
or,
both.
or both? What's what?
Look, my business takes a lot of me. It requires a lot of me now.
Yeah,
So it takes a lot of me.
yeah,
And I'm a natural hard worker.
yeah,
Naturally.
yeah.
So I can't help myself but work.
You know what? Does that leave space for Mojolo as you
For
mentioned?
Mjolo?
If Mojolo let's go tertiary. What about now? I mean, I'm just trying to imagine our, you know, and I'm sure this is too many women buying entrepreneurs, you know, and still trying to figure how to
Yeah.
find themselves Kamahara Mojolo and what if it's even possible. I don't know.
I'm trying to find the best way to answer.
Yeah.
Because maybe my potential husband is okay, so for me there's always time.
Yeah.
You can always make time
Yeah.
for that person.
Yeah.
And it's not that I'm not open to it. I just, you know, got out of a situation that was not nice, you know.
Okay.
So but even in that, he was still there while I was running my business.
Okay.
You know, and we made it work. So it's for me it's when I'm single, ke bolela ka nna, I work a lot.
Yeah.
But I use the time hore ke bereke because I've got the time to
Yeah,
work.
yeah.
But when a significant other comes into my life, at some point the time will be made.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yeah, I am open to dating.
Okay, lokile ne. Yeah, I'm raising the chances.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Baba, the volleyball. Yeah, this is two way. Na le Baba.
Wow, Baba, dating,
Jolo
no.
le Baba. Mar Baba, o ba skene pila, mo ba skene pila ke ngwanetso. Anyway,
Ke nyako tsena mo tabeng o interesting blind. When I first spoke to you and we wanted to interview you, and it so happens or ho tlhahelle something about a week ago, you posted something. Guy, a friend of yours whose business was about to close.
Yeah.
And she was going through some challenges and what. And post your thing, I think, was shared by over 1,000 people. You know, you're good in marketing. You really are.
I need you for a post to be shared for over 1,000. I'd love that. Over.
There's over 2,005.
Is it over 2,000? Wow. Yeah. And I saw even big media came for it, you know. That was amazing.
Yeah.
But just run us through story, say, what happened and why you
Yeah.
decided to post there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what happened was it was Tuesday morning.
Okay.
I was having a call with my friend Botselo
Yeah.
Huma. And it was just a normal, we've been friends for so many years, so
Yeah.
it's just a normal phone call. And we were talking about just random things. And then in the conversation, she says, "Oh, by the way, I'm closing shop." Like,
Yeah.
who
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was like, "What?" Like you've built this business for 4 years.
Yeah.
You've done so much around the business.
Yeah.
Why would you close? You know, I understand only challenges,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
but I just that for me just shocked me, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Trying to understand her reasoning behind
the closure, and she would say, friend, aksakara di customer, the business is not doing well. I'm tired of fighting. I think I've done everything in my power to keep the doors open. And she had an eviction notice from her landlord,
Okay.
evicting her from her shop.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so I said, okay, fine. I don't believe that you should permanently close the business because I still believe the business has potential.
Yeah.
Maybe take time off. Maybe
Yeah.
that's what you need, a break, you know. Yes, go back home, Rustenburg, but don't go to stay. Go to just take a bit of time off, but come back.
Yeah.
Right? And then in the conversation, would you mind if I post on my social media?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, whatever. You can do whatever you want to do, but I'm done.
Yeah.
So by the time I posted, I just wrote about it because I was touched by that, you know. And I think for me, it was a matter of, I can't, if I have any influence, any influence,
yeah.
I know that somebody within my network can help, right?
It was a lioness in you
It was the
that
lioness
was
in me.
speaking at the time. Yeah.
Exactly. And I felt strongly within me, Hore, just post on Facebook because I started, I just said, I stopped working, and I wrote this long post. And
Yeah.
the first line was, my friend is on the verge of giving up
Yeah.
and closing her business.
Yeah.
And I think that first line just sold
Yeah,
the
it did.
story.
Yeah, it did.
And I went to explain the story. And I didn't want to reveal too much, but I
Yeah.
also felt I do need to reveal certain things
Yeah.
that people can try and help.
And help specifically
Yeah,
to her plight.
to
Yeah.
her, you know. And I knew the help is just buying a pack of veggies for
Yeah.
35 rands,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So a lot of people can help.
Yeah.
So when I posted more Facebook, it it blew.
Yeah, it blew. I know.
We didn't expect that, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
there was a lot of interest. I think within a space of 1 hour, it was already shared over 1,000 times.
Yeah.
In the first hour, I was shocked. I was sitting at work and I was telling my colleagues, "Yo, guys, like, is this normal?"
Yeah.
They're like, "No, that's not normal." You know. Then before I slept that night, I was still checking the whole day. We were checking the comments. So now we were now communicating. And
Yeah.
she was like, okay. Then I said to her, as we were communicating,
Yeah.
the eviction notice was, she was due to move out the following day.
Yeah.
If she has not raised 7,000. So I then challenged the guy, talk to your landlord and at least ask him to give you until Friday.
Yeah.
You know, then let's see if we can raise the
Yeah.
7,000, you know, because the post was getting so much traction.
Yeah.
I felt in me that if we say to people that this is the amount we need to raise,
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody
Yeah.
can help, you
Yeah.
know. Then before Kerobala that night, I posted on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I think I posted on Instagram. And from LinkedIn the following day, somebody sent her 5,000.
Wow.
So then we
Wow.
started
That's
doing
so
another,
amazing.
yeah,
Wow.
we did a post
Yeah.
of just revealing the things that she needed so
Yeah.
that people can know, because people started asking, how can we help?
Yeah.
People from Cape Town and other parts of the country,
Yeah.
like, okay, I can't realistically order, but how
Yeah,
else
but
can
how
I
else
help?
can I help? Yeah.
You know, and people would ask, where do we order? So I was like, okay, this is the information about how you can order. And if you want to send her monetary contribution, this is her bank account.
Yeah.
Right now we're trying to raise 7,000.
Yeah.
So that's how the whole week we were busy with it.
Yeah.
I got calls from ENCA, I got calls from Josie FM.
Yeah. So that.
Pheli FM did
Pheli FM,
interview her.
yeah.
The big debate, they
Yeah.
got her
Yeah.
in studio. And the response was so overwhelming. And we didn't expect to get that much of response, particularly from people from Pretoria, and you know, from people from Atteridgeville,
Yeah, wow,
from
yeah,
Pheli, you know, that really supported. People offered houses, people offered space, people offered money, people offered business coaching. You know,
Yeah.
there was a lot. So we are truly grateful.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I suppose she's not closing anymore.
No, the business
She
is
is,
open.
business is open.
It's open.
She's
it's
still
running.
operating where
She's
Bona
operating
Point.
at Capital
Capital Park, yeah, I think I
eh,
saw that, yeah.
in Pretoria, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's happy days, I'm glad. So, I think more information like
Yeah.
what I want to find out, is Papa this thing. Tshego king says ho nana phelu nana. Or even local the
Yo.
Ramo Pheli or anything, fella.
Okay.
The memories are Pheli.
Are you testing if I'm a true Pheli
Yeah,
girl?
yeah.
So, so my fondest memories were the days of go packing, Gadi
Yeah,
36 and TTs, you know, and we would walk Gadi Kula Bay.
Oh, you're on got titis.
Yes.
Oh,
I
what
was
the police?
around, I was
I'm sure you were 16. Are you sure?
Bona. Naireta my TTC.
Yeah.
Re walk from home
Yeah,
to
Momo
packing.
Lope, ne?
Yeah,
To
Gomo
go,
Lope.
yeah.
To go to as a group. You know, we used to walk.
Yeah, we used to
you
walk,
know,
yeah.
To go to go packing.
Yeah.
And then after that, you go to TT's was like the after party.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Rajefa Multimedia box and
Yeah,
all of that. So I did work with Kula Boxing Day
Oh, yeah.
for 2 years.
Yeah.
Le Tebatso, and that for me was, and I pray that it comes back this year because
Yeah.
for me it was one of our successful, what do I call it? The things that we can own, assets, you
Yeah,
know, as Pheli.
Yeah.
I think Kula Boxing, people like Bo Charlie from Black Child,
Yeah.
you know, who is also a friend of mine. You know, I
Yeah.
look up to.
Also a tenant, yeah, the Ark.
A tenant, yeah.
Tenant, more
Oh,
the Ark, yeah.
he's a tenant here,
Yeah, so
yes.
we've got
I saw his
some
stuff.
Stuff here, yeah.
And I saw how his brand has also evolved.
Yeah.
You know, so I look up to entrepreneurs who don't give up. And yourself as well, by the way, Brian.
I know. Basal no boy. Actually, yesterday, fella, Basal bar no so work, and I'm like, "Ish,
You see,
guys, I'm
like-
so sorry. I'm never coming back.
They're
But about my
already
business, yeah.
So, you know, as much as I've left the township and
Yeah.
you know, to pursue my career and my business, but
Yeah.
my heart is still here.
Yeah.
My family is still here. My grandmother is still here.
Oh,
My
that's
church
nice,
is here.
yeah.
Kekana AME Ebenezer Koskloh.
Okay, bona, yeah.
Yeah, so when I go to church
Yeah.
under Reverend Mpie, can I mention my
Yeah,
pastor's
yeah.
name?
Of course,
Because
of course.
he's not going to like me if I don't. Reverend Mpie,
Yeah.
Muruti Mpie,
Yeah.
under his leadership, and we have, you know, they know me.
Yeah.
That's my church.
So you still come,
I drive from 4 ways on Sundays to
That's
Atteridgeville,
nice. Yeah.
Kuskloho. And I want to give a shout out to my friends who are entrepreneurs in Atteridgeville.
Please, go ahead.
I mentioned Tebatso, Give
Yeah.
It. And I want to mention Tabisopo and Naledi Mopelo.
Oh, of course, yeah.
The nail deck.
Yeah,
They're doing
we having them
extremely
soon
well.
here as well, yeah, we having them soon.
They are doing
Yeah.
extremely well, and
Yeah, absolutely,
I'm really
yeah.
inspired by entrepreneurs who just don't give up. You know, we hosted Hazel. Let me mention Hazel wa Le Ashma Lounge.
Oh, yeah. Hazy K, yeah.
Hazy
Yeah,
K.
Hazy K, yeah.
She
nice
gave
people,
me an opportunity to host an entrepreneurs workshop actually that we did
yeah.
2 years ago, Mule Ashma.
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
she's good people.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and we did one again. So I do PR work for the Township Entrepreneur Alliance. So
okay.
I opened the Atteridgeville door to them.
Yeah.
Because they do township entrepreneurial tours.
Yeah.
And they host this workshop with Nedbank in townships. And I went to Bulelani, who's the founder, and I said, look, Kopaletleng Atteridgeville, I've
That's
been doing
nice,
work for you guys.
yeah.
Atteridgeville is where I'm from.
I love it. I
You
mean,
know?
you're doing stuff for Gold Tango thing.
Exactly,
So beautiful. And that's,
exactly.
I mean, to Baba Utlweletseng, young and up and coming, this is what we want. For Baba on some of these things that are actually attainable, you know, by somebody else who go paid.
Yeah.
And speaking of your Antonio Bulelagain, I remember there was a time I was actually invited as a speaker That was organized by you.
Yeah,
as well.
that was
Long. I can't
Pheli-
remember what it.
Matrix Network.
Yeah. I remember I was asked to come and speak. Yeah.
Yes. Was it
So,
the
yeah.
Penny Matrix or it
No,
was
no,
the
it
100
wasn't.
plus?
It was 100 plus. Yeah, it was 100
So
plus. Yeah.
I'm a part of 100 plus. I want to say a lot of things to
Yeah,
test
yeah.
if I'm a true Peli
Yeah,
Torian.
yeah.
Or Peli
Yeah,
villain.
yeah. I remember, but let's go through the 100 plus.
So 100 Plus Movement is an NPO that we formed. I think it was 2013, 2014, Tabi. So when he comes, he's
Yeah.
the chairperson.
Yeah.
He can rectify the year that we started. But I remember we registered it around that time.
Yeah.
And the purpose was to give back to our community.
Yeah.
So we did the winter drive.
Yeah,
We've
no.
done a Christmas drive.
That,
We have a big winter drive that we do every year.
Yeah.
Go Komshengu.
Komshengu, yeah.
Yeah, where we do soup drive.
Soup drive,
we
I remember, yeah.
You've been
Yeah,
part of it.
I've been
TK
part of
has
it,
been
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
A lot of people from Atteridgeville have been part of it
Yeah.
and supporting it. Even the guys Bako Lodium.
Wow.
They've helped and become a part of it. So we do it around winter, where we give away blankets,
Yeah,
clothes,
I
and
wanted
soup.
to say blankets as well. I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so that's 100 plus.
awesome. No,
I'm
you
still
know-
part of 100 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Atteridgeville will always have my
Le
heart.
ngwanyana kasi,
Ke ngwanyana
ngwanyana
kasi. So 100 plus has it has been a part of my life for a very long time. I think us and the team, as a team, we are all working. Some of us are entrepreneurs, so who busy. But we try and make time, particularly for the winter drive event.
Yeah.
And probably you've seen in the previous events,
yeah.
we have
Hwatlala,
long
yeah.
queues.
Yeah.
Komshengu, but it has been an incredible journey that we've gone through as a movement, as the 100 plus movement.
Yeah.
And the fact that you have the ability to give back to your community, I think that's what has kept us going.
Why leave it 100 plus? Is it 100 members?
It's
or?
100 plus members.
Okay.
So we look at, so there's us as the executive team, but then the people that form part of the movement, we still consider them as members. So when we came up with the name, we just said it's a movement for 100 plus people that can come together for the purpose of doing good, serving others.
Yeah.
And serving, our logo, our slogan is doing good, serving others, and transforming lives. Yeah.
So what's Tshego's next?
Oh, I love that question. Tshego's next is building. Remember, I went back to telling you that Alpha Destiny, I had to, regroup and remodel and go back to the drawing board. The beauty in that is that the next is much bigger.
Oh, okay.
So my passion for Africa has become much bigger than it was 2 years ago. We have formed a partnership with an agency in Kenya called AM Communications. We are doing a couple of work that's coming up that I can't mention, but it's coming up this year with them. I need to visit Kenya just to wrap up these things. And I am also eyeing the DRC. Because I've never been to the DRC, but opportunities are coming up. So the next is to go forward with building, getting more countries and getting involved in more countries in the continent, and then hopefully around the world.
Yeah. What's your? I think what's your message to the young black boy, the young black girl, Pheli, who is watching this podcast and Monta, a picture of what's possible, and you've had a sterling career. Absolutely amazing. And
Thank you.
what would you say to them? Maybe, Baba Ipotsankar, maybe is this even possible within their realm or whatever?
The one thing I can say is that we have so many opportunities in Atteridgeville. In Atteridgeville, as people that grew up in Atteridgeville, we have so many opportunities. At the township on its own, batho ba mo Atteridgeville, batho ba Pheli, ra rata dilo. Some may view it as a negative thing, but it's actually a positive thing, because that means we are willing to explore things that are maybe not within our borders.
Yeah.
And you look at Pheli Coffee, for example, that's here today. That is a beautiful coffee shop and a coffee concept
Yeah.
within Atteridgeville.
The natural, yeah.
You know, and when I came in here, I thought nothing stops us from having a co-working office space within the township.
Yeah.
You know, because the people of Atteridgeville are very entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
Very, very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, true.
And I follow the Facebook group that Mtobisi Cilo is
Yeah.
the admin of. Kanake Pheli
Pheli News. Or
Pheli News,
yeah,
right? I
yeah.
follow Pheli Quick News,
Yeah.
and I see how they profile and talk about. There were two girls, Bahoran, they were selling scones, Munkomo,
Oh, yeah.
at some point.
Yeah.
And I love those stories because that says to me it's possible.
Yeah.
So I want to say that it's possible.
Yeah.
Nothing stops you from building the business that you want and growing it even beyond Atteridgeville and beyond Pretoria and beyond South Africa. I did it.
Yeah.
And I truly believe that it's possible for anyone else to do it. So don't give up. Just keep going. And call me if you want to call me.
That's nice.
le mutlile batho ba Pheli beautiful story ya motho a tswang ko Pheli ke tsona ditaba tse re letlelang tsona mo podcast here so that you are able to see what's possible and not just think gore maybe dilo tse tsotlhe tse re di bona ke batho ba ba leng kgole le rena. Here we have Tshego kekana who has done amazing things to inspire you, and the nice thing le ena o bolela are o teng mo tshwareng call her and whatever, she's on socials Tshego kekana, so le kana la mo inbox a laetsang.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's been a beautiful episode. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe, remember to like, remember to share, remember to tell us spreading this Phillyville podcast. The opportunities are ntši di tlo tswa out of yona. Other than that, Tshego?
It's a wrap. Thank you.